This is a chaos ring tutorial by Rachel at Wire Guild. I've done quite a few other chaos type pieces and those tutorials are available on YouTube, but this one's going to be for a ring. Now I've used 0.8mm or 20 gauge round dead soft wire, and I've used copper, but I do show you at the end what it actually looks like if you use a slightly thicker wire, so you could use 1mm. Now this is I don't know what to call it. This is something that I came up with to use. It's a block of wood. I think it's 2 inches by 3 inches, something like that. And it's got a hole in there. And it's quite a deep hole. This is, sorry to go from inches to metric, but that's a 19mm hole. And what we use it for is you can stick your ring mandrel into it and it will hold the mandrel up in the air like that. So what it's doing is it's giving you like a third pair of hands. Now I use these all the time and I use them when I go out and I do workshops. This is an F clamp, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp this block, there we go, onto the table. So sorry, it's not a very good angle, but it's a really difficult thing to show you. But I've got that fastened into place. It's nice and tight underneath. And then if I put my ring mandrel in, you can see how the ring mandrel just sits there. It's perfectly solid, perfectly safe, and it's not going to go anywhere. And it gives me, like I say, a third pair of hands. So I've got some 0.8mm bare copper wire. I use bare copper instead of the coated stuff because I like the way it moves better. I find that the coated tends to either be stronger and too hard to do. So I'm measuring myself quite a bit there, and I'm just going to snip that off. Obviously, the more wire you have, the more chaotic you can make it be. The less, obviously, you can't put as many loops in, but it's just a single strand. So I'm going to roughly halfway. I'm not going to actually fold it or bend it or anything like that. I'm just got it so it's doubled, and then I'm going to use my ring mandrel. This is a stepped mandrel. If you don't have a stepped mandrel, don't worry about that. This was just the first one that came to hand when I was going to do it. So I pop my mandrel into my block. My block is fastened to my workbench. Excuse me. And I brought the wire up to the top and crossed over, and now I'm taking one side round again. So you've got like 3 wires at the top and 2 at the back. I'm going to cross those together. By crossing those wires and wrapping, there we go. Can you see that better now? There we go. It stops the ring from getting any bigger. I push my thumb on it, there, nice and firm, and then I'm going to start to make curls or circles or swirls. And I'm using the ring mandrel to actually push against to get these curls. There we go, like that. You can see with this being lovely full soft copper, it's not going to spring back and it's not going to undo. So now I'm going to do another one going the other way. Remember, you don't need to be too exact about this. This is meant to look chaotic. It is meant to be uneven. Sorry, my hands get in the way. Right, let's have another one. All I'm doing is I'm trying to show the making of the curls without having my fingers on top of them, which normally is what I always do. My finger goes over the top and I make the curl, because that then keeps the curl flat because I'm pressing it down. So come back to the other side and let's go around in a circle, and then we'll go back the other way. Sorry. That's a nice little curl, is that one? Let's just push that down, move it round a bit. Oh, there we go. We'll add another one on top of that. It's really whatever you feel like. It's chaos. It's not you're going to have, 2 curls to the left, 1 curl to the right, and then you're going to copy this and do exactly the same on the other side. You're not. Now, my wires have come so that they're passing each other. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to twist the wires again, like we did on the top, but I'm doing it again on the bottom. Again, this is giving the strength that the ring is not going to grow. It's an anchor point. It's a point that holds. At this point, I can slip it off the ring mandrel and I can actually hold it in my fingers and you can see better what I'm doing. So let's do some more curls. Let's have another one there. So I've got my finger on the inside, finger over the top, twist and make a curl. My finger now that's on the inside is doing the job that the ring mandrel did before. I want you to go around the back of that curl. Every opportunity I get to add some strength, so that one has gone through the middle. There, just threaded it through. I've gone on to the wire on the other side. I know you see an awful lot of the back of my fingers. It's such a difficult thing to show you the curl being created when it's actually squashed between both my fingers when I'm creating it. But I am trying to let you see. And I'm just building up layers and layers of curls and twists. Now, if you can hear whimpering in the background, that is my new puppy, who is quite upset that I am not playing with her at the moment instead of making a tutorial, but she'll be all right, she'll live. So let's put some more curls in here and some sweeps, and I'm just wriggling along until I come back to the other wire. So I have bent round the other wire again and I am going back. I'm running out of wire now. It's getting to the point where I don't have much left. So let's go the other way with the other bit of wire. Where do I want that? Let's stick another curl on there. The great thing about these rings is if you've got an area that you're not as keen on, you don't have to show that area. You don't have to wear that on the top, but that can go underneath. Or if at this stage, you can just add another curl. Do I want you to go that way or this way? See, this is it. If I think about it too much, I end up sitting there with the wire going, oh dear, which way should you go? And I get all indecisive. But I can finish that one off in that loop. So I've just taken the end of the wire with snipe nose pliers or a chain nose, depending if you're EU or in America, and I've just tightened that through. There we go. It doesn't need much, and then I can cut the end off. So that was just a single wrap through, and then I can tighten that so that there is no edge that's going to actually poke. It's not underneath, it's not going to hit the finger, and it's all flattened down so that there's nothing on top to catch on any clothing you're wearing. Okay, other side. Stick another little curl there and take that to the side, and then we'll just finish it off into that curl. Whoops, come here. That curl there. Go on, in you go. My eyesight's not as good as it used to be, so actually holding this underneath the camera and still being able to see what I'm doing is quite fun and games for me these days. So once you've got that end clipped off and fastened down, just like we did on the other side, so I'm just tightening the curl, and I'll take my snips and cut that off and then flatten it down. So you've effectively got your ring at this point, and you've got all your little curls and your swirls, and you can see where I've interwoven, gone back the other way, twisted the wires together, and I haven't made it quite big enough for me, but it doesn't matter, it will go on my little finger. And you can see that some areas are much curlier or much more chaotic, and other areas are less so, they're less filled. I'm going to move a bit closer to the camera and you'll be able to see a bit better. But that doesn't matter. That is the whole thing about chaos, that it's just, you know, how it comes out. What I need to do though now is to actually hammer this. Don't worry if you don't have a proper hammer. This is where I hate stepped mandrels because they're no good for this. But anyway, it's what I've got. This is a whammer, which has got like a heavy plastic end on one side and a metal on the other. If you don't have anything like that, don't worry. You can use anything. You could use a lump of wood, um, a normal hammer, anything you've got. All I'm doing is I'm just tapping. I aren't braying this. I'm just tapping it nice and gently. And what it's doing is it's work hardening the metal. It's setting those curls into place. So the wires that are on the very top are being moved down so that the whole thing is coalescing, if you like, into one solid thing. There we go. Whoops, is that going to roll off? Probably. So that basically is my chaos ring. And you can see I haven't hit it that hard because if I'd have hit it really, really hard, I would have flat tops. No, I can't get it on that finger. I don't know why I keep trying. Let's stick it on that finger. I will, of course, oxidize. Look, you see, I've got quite a bare patch just there. But if you don't like that, you just tuck it onto the inside. But then again, it might be that you like the bare patch and you wear that. This is one, oh, my Blue Peter thing. Here's one I made earlier. And I've oxidized it. However, because it's been kicking around for a few days, it's already started to darken. So I'm just going to give that a speeded up rub with a cloth till it looks nice and shiny. There we go. So that one's in bare copper. That one I much prefer is oxidized, and you can see the curls are slightly different, but it's been made. Oh, look, it fits. I shall go to the ball. It's been made in exactly the same way. It's just that I've oxidized that down with liver of sulfur. Now this one is using 1mm or 18 gauge wire, made in exactly the same way, but it gives you a much heavier, chunkier ring. Probably you could use this if you wanted to do a men's ring. Again, oxidized. I like it a lot better oxidized. But they've sort of got a bit more oomph to them. But it depends. You get a lady with very delicate hands and she's not going to want something that thick. She's going to want a finer thing. But you know, different folks, different strokes. Everybody always wants different things. So that's it in 0.8. There we go. Either bare copper and oxidized. And we've also got then the 1mm. So you can see the difference quite plainly, but they're made in the same way. Now this is my chaos ring where I've actually set a stone in it. So this is just a 6mm CZ that I have set into the ring. Now I will be doing a tutorial for that, and that will be on either the YouTube membership or my Patreon site. So you'll be able to see that very shortly. I haven't done it yet, we'll be doing soon. So these are just some more pictures of what they look like when they were finished, and I hope you enjoyed it. Happy wrapping.